Alright motherfuckers, by the end of this video, you'll understand the root cause of the majority of your health issues, why you're not happy with the way that you look, because after I got this dialed in, I went from looking like a fat chud to lean and aesthetic for once in my life. I tried to make this transformation for 4 years, and I couldn't fucking do so because I was neglecting my gut health. You need to understand that just going to the gym alone and just eating protein, hitting macros, all that shit is not enough to make this kind of transformation. There are various aspects of your health that you simply do not even comprehend yet, and gut health is just one of these. By the end of this video, you'll leave with a full 12-week roadmap to fully fix your gut. At the end, there'll be some secret sauce shit that no one even fucking talks about. Here's why gut health even matters in the first place. You have to understand your mood, your mental state is all determined by your gut. The microbes in your gut, as well as your intestinal lining, influence your vagus nerve. It impacts your inflammatory cytokines, your neurotransmitters. So if you have acne, if you feel depressed all the time, this is mostly related to your gut. If you have a leaky gut barrier from eating processed food, from drinking alcohol, from eating fried shit, you're gonna have anxiety, brain fog, and get cooked by stress. It also affects your skin. Systematic inflammation from gut-derived endotoxins will give you acne, it will give you eczema, and all of this shit. So here's literally my face when I was eating like shit. You can just tell that my skin quality was terrible. That was me eating dining hall food and my skin quality was ass. You can just see it on my face. So if you want to look max, having good gut health is an essential. If you want to max out your looks, you want to look as good as you possibly can, then you need to get your gut health in order. It's also going to affect insulin sensitivity, all of this shit. Your immune system is determined 80% by your gut health. So if it's shit, you're going to have bloating, you're gonna have irregular bowel movement, you're gonna have food reactions to fucking random shit, and you will probably be fucking overweight. Here are some signs you have terrible gut health. These are the main ones. If you have daily or near daily bloating, gas, burping, or abdominal pain, you have terrible gut health. If you're alternating between constipation and diarrhea, if you have consistently loose or hard stools, then your gut's in shambles. If you have heartburn, reflux, nausea, or early fullness after small meals, then your gut's cooked. And if you have really strong reactions to dairy, wheat, eggs, foods low in FODMAPs, then your gut's cooked. Okay, here are some signs that your systemic and immune system is cooked because of your gut. Persistent fatigue, unrefreshing sleep, your sleep quality is shit. If you have brain fog, if you have poor concentration, if you have low stress tolerance, if you have a shit ton of anxiety, depression, all that shit is related to your gut. If you're frequently got colds and shit, if you have sore throats, you have recurrent infections, if your joints ache, if you have muscle pain, if you have fluish feelings without a virus, all of this shit is related to your gut health. When it shows up in your skin, especially if you have breakouts along your jawline and chin, if you have all of these, that's a sign that your gut health is shit. If you have shit skin quality, if you have a puffy face, if you have dark circles that won't match your sleep quality, that's also gut health related. If your hair is shedding, a lot of men are balding because the gut health is shit. They're also using a bunch of toiletries that aren't helping as well. Everything relates back to the gut. You can see from the fucking list I just gave you. Metabolic and hormonal clues. If you have cravings for sugar, cravings aren't normal at all, by the way. Cravings for goislop, bullshit, should not be normal. If you have energy crashes after meals, if you have difficulty losing weight despite eating well, then this is all related to gut health as well. And here's a science behind why your gut affects your mood and affects your looks as well. So if your gut barrier is shit, that means food is going to be able to leak straight through your gut lining. Now, when this happens, you're gonna be in a state of chronic inflammation. And this affects your brain, affects your skin, because there's literal food particles floating around in your blood. There's antigens floating around in your blood. Your gut is also directly linked to your brain through the vagus nerve. So if it's inflamed, then it won't be able to properly communicate with your brain. That's why some motherfuckers can just eat, and the satiety signals aren't even working. It's because the gut is inflamed and the vagus nerve is just fried. So that's the basic science behind why gut health impacts your mood and it impacts your looks. Here's a 12-week framework, step-by-step plan to fix your gut health. The first phase, days 1 to 14 is calming the system and reducing irritants. So remove common irritants, remove ultra processed foods, remove emulsifiers, polysorbate AT, carboxymethylcellulose, artificial sweeteners, remove the alcohol, remove the binge drinking, remove the very high sugar meals, and late night eating. This should be fucking brain dead, but motherfuckers still will not do this. Next up is adopt a gentle gut template. Eat protein at every single meal. Eggs, fish, poultry, red meat. Have some cooked low FODMAP leaning vegetables if you're very bloated. Have easy starches, potatoes, sweet potatoes, fruits, sourdough, or gluten-free bread. As for fats, you want saturated fats, butter, tallow, and start small fats if you have gallbladder issues. Next is circadian rhythm and cortisol aligned eating. You need to be timing your meals properly. For your very first meal of the day, you should be pushing it off as far as you can until you get hungry, and it should be a protein rich breakfast. Ideally, you have 2 to 4 eggs, maybe some sourdough, or have Greek yogurt with berries, and this is going to use your cortisol awakening response. Next up is lunch. This should be your biggest or second biggest meal. Should be 12 to 4 p.m. It's flexible. Make sure it's high protein. Afternoon, have a small snack. And then dinner should be around 6, before the sun sets. You need to get your dinner finished by then. It should be finished 2 to 3 hours before bed, avoiding heavy sugar or alcohol at night. Next up, these low cortisol daily habits. These are non-negotiable if you want low cortisol, if you don't want fucking stress, if you don't want fucking health markers to be like shit. You need to be living a low cortisol lifestyle. First thing is morning sunlight. Spending 5 to 15 minutes outside within an hour of waking anchors your circadian rhythm to that of nature, and this is going to help you with cortisol. It sets up a cascade of chemical reactions in your body, so you're actually able to fall asleep at night, and this indirectly impacts your gut motility. Next up is nasal breathing. You should be breathing throughout the entire day through your nose. You should not be mouth breathing whatsoever. Even during cardio, even while lifting, not a single puff of air should be going out through your mouth. Also, you should be humming throughout the day to boost your vagal tone. Movement, daily walking. Make sure you're walking at least 20 to 40 minutes every single day, and lift 2 to 4 times a week. Avoid HIIT unless, you just love torturing yourself for whatever reason. Sleep 8 to 9 hours. Sleep quality is majorly influenced by sleep consistency. You need to be sleeping at the same times every single fucking day. I used to not give a shit about this. I used to sleep at 10 p.m., then 11:30, then 12 a.m. and every single morning I just felt like shit no matter how long I slept. But the past few months I've been really locked in when it comes to sleep consistency. I've been sleeping at the same times every single day. My performance in the gym has shot up. My fat loss has increased. My mood overall is better. It's worth dialing in. So if you go to the gym, if you're eating clean, this is the type of shit that will take you to the next level. This is how you actually lock the fuck in and get insane results in the gym. Next up is grounding and breathing. Spend time barefoot on grass, sand, soil, or swimming in a natural body of water for 20 to 40 minutes for most days. Or use a proper grounding mat if outdoors isn't feasible. This will reduce inflammation, or normalize your cortisol rhythm, or improve your sleep, and it gives you a better vagal tone. The second phase, weeks 3 to 6, this is when you rebuild the barrier and seed beneficial microbes. So you need to be eating fermented foods daily. Have 1 to 2 servings daily of ferments. Either have live kosher yogurt, raw kefir, kimchi, or sauerkraut. These will increase the microbial diversity and can lower inflammatory markers. Make sure you want to start small. Start small with 1 to 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut, or 100 to 150 milliliters of raw kefir, raw yogurt, and increase that over weeks to limit the initial gas or bloating that may or may not occur. Next up is eating barrier supportive nutrient dense foods. Protein, you should be eating 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram a day from varied sources. You need to be eating collagen and gelatin rich foods, bone broth, slow cooked meats with connective tissue. These will all support the mucosal membrane of your gut lining. Next up is omega-3s. You need to be eating fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel 2 to 3 times a week, or algae oil if you're plant-based. Last but not least is polyphenols. Eat berries, eat cocoa, green tea, herbs and spices. These will feed the beneficial microbes in your gut and reduce inflammation. The last phase, weeks 7 to 12, this is the advanced source. You need to be eating more of this towards the end. This is how you really push your gut to the next level. Raw liver, raw eggs, raw milk, and raw kefir. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, what the fuck? Aren't I gonna get a parasite? Aren't I gonna get an infection? You need to understand that the risk profile from this shit is really negligible. It's just non-existent. I mean, everyone wants you unhealthy. The medical system wants you unhealthy so they can make money off you. But humans have been eating this kind of shit. We've had way worse food than this. People can eat rotten meat and be fine with it. Raw liver, if it's fresh, raw eggs from high quality sources, raw milk, raw kefir, will really not make you sick at all. Once you understand that, your health will go to the next level. There was a point where I remember the first time I tried raw milk, I was in the basement of the frat house I was living in at this time. And one of my friends brought a jug of raw milk from his hometown. Now, raw milk is really hard to come by in the United States. You gotta sign up to Sheets and get a herd share, cow share. It's incredibly hard. So I've heard about raw milk for the longest time, and I was sketched out just like you, honestly. I thought I thought I was gonna shit my pants, but I drank the raw milk and nothing fucking happened. Nothing happened. It just tasted great. It tasted better than normal milk. And ever since then, I've drank raw milk since. And once you just get over that fucking brainwashing, you'll understand that raw foods is nothing to be scared of at all. It's really not. So here's why raw. Cooking will destroy or denature the key bioactive components. These enzymes that aid digestion and help your body utilize the nutrients are heat sensitive, and you will destroy them when you cook them. Raw foods supply their own enzymes, and this will reduce the burden on your own body's digestive system. Heat denatures proteins and alters fats in ways that make them less recognizable or usable by the body. So raw proteins and fats will retain the natural structure for better assimilation and tissue repair. There's also vitamins, certain minerals that will be destroyed by heat. So here's why we eat raw milk, raw liver, raw eggs, raw. It's because these support the natural acidic environment of the human gut needed for proper breakdown. And these are the most nutrient-dense foods on planet Earth. And that's why we have them raw. Now, the rest of your diet, you can mix in some cooked stuff there. I'm not gonna tell you to eat fucking raw meat, raw steaks and shit, but the high leverage foods you should be eating raw. Next up is raw milk and raw cream. These will provide fats that soothe your nerves, lubricate tissues, support mucus linings, and help detoxify your body. Raw eggs, these are highly complete, rapidly digesting food, specifically used to fix leaky gut. And these will supply your body with protein, fats, and nutrients. And that is the full game plan for fixing your own gut health. If you want to learn more about the entire picture when it comes to getting lean and aesthetic from fat as fuck, then watch this video, and that I break down all aspects of health that you need to understand in order to transform your physique in 120 days.